who blew the whistle? The two executives caught on that now infamous Coldplay Kiss Cam were first identified on a TikTok account of someone who apparently works at the company. Oh my god, that looks like Astronomer CEO Andy Byron and Astronomer Chief People Officer Kristin Cabot. That's going to be one awkward board meeting, if not a couple divorces too.
We've now learned that the technology company Astronomer has announced that its CEO, Andy Byron, seen here, as you saw, embracing a woman who is not his wife, has resigned from the company.
Whoever wrote the post was believed to have also attended the concert in Boston, and it sure seems that he or she works at the company. They knew Kristin Cabot's precise title in HR, and they also knew that both executives are married. Grace Springer first posted the video being seen around the world.
It was the reaction from Andy that kind of sealed the deal. He looked pretty guilty.
So Jumbotrons, Kiss Cams at big events, you never know what you might uncover like this.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. Either they're having an affair or it's very sharp. I'm not quite sure what to do.
Chief Executive Andy Byron has tendered his resignation to the board of directors and they have accepted. The board will begin a search for our next chief executive as co-founder and chief product officer Pete DeJoy continues to serve as interim CEO.
The company's board of directors accepted that resignation today, saying that it will begin the search for a replacement. In a statement released on the company's LinkedIn page, it says this, that Astronomer is committed to the values and culture that have guided us since our founding. Our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability, and recently that standard was not met.
28-year-old Grace Springer was at the concert at the Gillette Stadium in Boston and captured the moment that has now been viewed 53 million times.
I could have never guessed that it would be such high-profile individuals in the video. I do feel sorry for their partners and spouses that they had to find out this way.
Do you think if they had not tried to hide, Coldplay would have moved on?
100%. I think if they acted natural, no one would have thought twice. What a cute couple. I mean, I'm sure people in their inner circle might have caught something, but I definitely wouldn't have posted that video.
All right, my friends, buckle up, because we're about to dive deep, really deep, into a scandal that continues to define modern-day viral moments. This isn't just about a kiss on camera. This is about shattered lives, reputations obliterated, and the unforgiving gaze of the internet. We're talking about the infamous Coldplay Kiss Cam affair, a seemingly innocent concert moment that became the epicenter of a full-blown, scorched earth betrayal. And trust me, guys, the true devastation behind the headlines is even more shocking than you think. It all began innocently enough at Gillette Stadium, a massive arena packed with nearly 65,000 screaming fans for a Coldplay concert. The atmosphere was electric, the music was blaring, and then, as often happens at these events, the stadium's Kiss Cam lights up, searching for a couple to highlight. It zoomed in on a pair in the crowd, and what happened next turned two high-flying executives into a national punchline, shattering two families in the process. The man and woman on screen suddenly realize they're caught. There's a panicked moment, a visible attempt to pull away, to duck out of the spotlight. It was awkward, cringeworthy even, for those watching live. But then, to make things exponentially worse, Coldplay's own frontman, Chris Martin, ever the showman, chuckled into the mic and quipped, "Either they're having an affair, or they're just very shy." Oh, my friends, if only he knew how chillingly accurate that offhand joke would prove to be. The internet buzzed, but questions immediately arose. Did they even leave the concert together? Did they show up to work the next day as if nothing happened? That 16-second clip exploded. It went viral within hours. TikTok ignited, X, formerly Twitter, was flooded with memes, and the video itself racked up over 50 million views in just 2 days. It seemed like just another hilarious internet moment, a fleeting public embarrassment. But this wasn't just some random couple caught in an awkward embrace. This was a fuse lit on a powder keg of personal and professional deceit. The man was quickly identified as Andy Byron, the CEO of Astronomer, a billion-dollar software company. And the woman? That was Kristin Cabot, sometimes spelled Kit in early reports, his company's chief people officer, also known as the head of HR. The irony, guys, is simply too rich to ignore. The very person responsible for preventing inappropriate workplace relationships was allegedly entangled with the CEO himself. This sparked outrage, with many pointing out the blatant hypocrisy, arguing that HR is often seen as protecting the company, not necessarily the employees, and certainly not practicing what it preaches. And to add another layer of explosive truth, both Andy and Kristin were married to other people. By the next morning, the internet was buzzing with jokes and furious commentary. But for the people directly at the center of this firestorm, absolutely nothing about this was funny. What truly elevated this from a simple awkward moment to a full-blown scandal was the emergence of additional footage. This wasn't the blurry, shaky cell phone video initially circulating.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Reports from outlets like TMZ claimed clearer, irrefutable video had surfaced, showing Andy and Kristin in a definite, unmistakable embrace before the Kiss Cam even found them, with some even claiming he was brazenly handling her intimate areas right there in the box, surrounded by colleagues. This wasn't about shyness or surprise. This was a calculated attempt to hide a relationship that was already in full swing. A long-standing affair that some sources claim had been going on for at least 9 months, potentially for years. The professional consequences for Andy Byron were swift, decisive, and brutal. Astronomer, a company that had recently raised a staggering $93 million in funding, and was valued at over $1.3 billion, suddenly found its leader embroiled in a public cheating scandal. The optics were catastrophic. Just 48 hours after the clip went viral, Astronomer's board placed both Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot on administrative leave. These weren't just any employees. They were two of the most powerful people in the entire organization. 3 days later, on July 19th, the board officially accepted Andy Byron's resignation. He was out, gone, just like that. The company's official statement was a masterpiece of corporate euphemism. Our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability. Recently, that standard was not met. Translation, my friends. This man fumbled harder than a toddler with a laptop, and the board shoved him out the door so fast his badge probably hit the wall on the way out. Pete DeJoy, a co-founder of Astronomer, stepped in as acting CEO, tasked with damage control on an unprecedented scale. As for Kristin Cabot, her situation became murkier. Her LinkedIn profile, along with Andy Byron's, was scrubbed from the internet shortly after the scandal broke. You don't delete your entire professional history unless those receipts are very, very real, and your career is likely in irreparable jeopardy. While some reports confirm she was placed on administrative leave, it was unclear whether it was paid or unpaid. Others even speculated she was still technically employed, just hidden from public view. Why the hesitation? According to employment lawyers, firing her outright could open the company up to serious legal risks. If Astronomer couldn't definitively prove their policies had been broken, they might find themselves facing a wrongful termination lawsuit. Imagine the irony. The head of HR potentially suing for wrongful termination after being caught in an alleged affair with the CEO. The widespread belief, however, is that both their careers in high-profile corporate roles are effectively over. Burned by the viral infamy, their future job prospects in the corporate world are widely seen as bleak, a direct consequence of their public actions. While Astronomer's offices were undoubtedly melting down, the internet had already moved on, mercilessly mocking the entire scandal. News anchors chimed in with their own takes. One commentator summed it up perfectly. I mean, people are talking about it. You know, it's unfortunate for the people involved, but the internet's having a field day. And that field day was just getting started. Within days, the infamous Kiss Cam scene was being hilariously reenacted by actual sports mascots across the country. The Philly Fanatic, the Savannah Banana Zone mascot, even Baxter the Bobcat from the Arizona Diamondbacks. All recreated that exact cringe-inducing moment. Kristin turned her back, and Andy ducked his head like he was dodging a laser beam. And then came the merchandise. Etsy sellers began printing t-shirts, mugs, and tote bags emblazoned with still frames from the Jumbotron footage. At this point, guys, the joke was bigger than the people involved. And that in many ways made it even worse. Because while the internet laughed, the families caught in the storm were still reeling from a profound betrayal. As one empathetic observer noted, you do have to think about the children and the spouses. We're all laughing about it, but they're all families and stuff. A lot of family. The true gut-wrenching core of this story, the one that truly highlights the devastating human cost, centers squarely on Kristin's husband, Andrew Cabot. This isn't just some random guy caught in a public spectacle. Andrew is a scion, the heir to one of New England's oldest and most prestigious families, the Cabots. He's a quiet, well-respected businessman himself, the CEO of Privateer Rum, a premium spirits company with a serious reputation in the Northeast. This is a man who was actively building a life, a future, with Kristin.
Forget the Epstein files. I want to see the text messages of that Astronomer CEO that got caught cheating at the Coldplay concert.
I would pay to be a fly on the wall in the office.
This is pretty viral stuff. Or do we have to get HR involved? I mean, I know that HR was involved.
Around March 2025, just a few short months before the scandal exploded, Kristin and Andrew purchased a beautiful, spacious, $2.2 million dream home together in Rye, New Hampshire. 4 bedrooms, suburban peace, that quintessential American dream energy. You know, the kind of place normal, trusting people buy to build a life, to raise a family, not to watch it spectacularly unravel on a Jumbotron mocked by millions. Until this point, Andrew Cabot had maintained a stoic silence. No tweets, no public statements, no social media posts. But insiders say he's anything but calm. Rumors suggest that just 48 hours after the clip went viral, Andrew began meeting with top-tier divorce lawyers in Boston. While no firm names or court filings have appeared in public records just yet, many speculate it's only a matter of time. Because when someone like Andrew Cabot goes silent and calls a lawyer, my friends, it usually means the storm is just beginning. A source incredibly close to Andrew finally broke their silence. And trust me, guys, what they revealed paints a picture of profound devastation. Kristin's husband will never forgive her, the source confirmed to various outlets. He feels like she betrayed the entire family. He could never make amends after this. He's so upset and doesn't feel he could ever see her in the same light again. This wasn't just heartbreak. This was scorched earth devastation. Andrew was completely blindsided. The house, the marriage, the shared dreams, the very fabric of their life together, all nuked in one stadium-sized betrayal. He was left with a PR nightmare, viral pity, and his wife trending for all the wrong reasons. Can you even begin to imagine being blindsided like that? Your wife snuggling up with her millionaire boss broadcast on a stadium Jumbotron, then trending across the entire internet while you're still wearing your wedding ring? It's a Greek tragedy set to a very public Coldplay soundtrack. A betrayal so colossal, it demanded an equally massive response.
They're both married, not for long.
Coldplay hasn't made a single in years, and now they just made 2 last night.
And indeed, Andrew Cabot has made his move. The man blindsided by the Coldplay Kiss Cam scandal has reportedly demanded a divorce. This isn't just a breakup, it's a full-blown, gloves-off, scorched earth fallout. Andrew, who built a life with Kristin, supported her career, and stood by her side at countless family events, is now done playing nice. And honestly, my friends, can you blame him? When your wife's secret affair with her millionaire boss gets projected across a stadium screen, called out by Chris Martin in real time, and then plastered all over the internet for the world to see, forgiveness isn't just off the table, it's incinerated. What's unfolding now isn't just a divorce, it's a complete public reckoning. And Kristin, she's about to find out what happens when you betray the one person who never saw it coming. Not in a million years. With Andrew's significant personal and family wealth and Kristin's high-earning executive role, the financial stakes of this divorce are astronomically high. Many viewers hoped Andrew had a prenup to ensure the cheater would truly pay. The internet, as always, has been merciless and forensic in its analysis. Beyond the initial shock, online sleuths quickly began digging. TikTok accounts, allegedly from Astronomer employees or close contacts, were reportedly the first to identify the cheating executives, proving the power of insider information in the age of viral content. Memes are everywhere. The Coldplay Cuddlegate and HR homewrecker titles are now firmly embedded in our cultural lexicon. People are literally breaking down that initial Kiss Cam video like it's the Zapruder film, analyzing every panicked flinch, every awkward turn. Some users even unearthed intriguing details, like reports that Kristin had sold a different home earlier this year while still publicly listed as married. This led internet sleuths to connect dots, suggesting this wasn't just a heat-of-the-moment mistake, but something potentially more premeditated or a long-standing issue bubbling beneath the surface. Trust me, my friends, when a scandal of this magnitude hits, the internet leaves no stone unturned.
He actually bends down to get out of like squatting to get out of the site. Honestly, they should have listened to me. Look, well, he's really hugging her. It's tight.
Yeah, you just lean in. You have to lean in at that point.
Right?
Furthermore, reports suggest that Kristin and Andy's professional relationship was far from strictly business. They were reportedly seen together at internal company events, conferences, and even, shockingly, at Andrew's own family gatherings. This raises serious questions. Was this a long con, a slow burn, or just two incredibly selfish people who thought no one would ever catch them? The audacity of it all is truly astounding. Meanwhile, employees were talking off the record. Even the coworker next to them in the box, visibly recoiling as the camera hit them, fueled speculation that the affair was an open secret within Astronomer. One insider flatly stated, "We always knew they were close, but not like that," confirming office whispers. Let's not forget Andy Byron, Andy's wife. She wasted no time. First, she reportedly removed his last name from all her profiles. Then, she simply vanished from social media entirely, maintaining a dignified silence that earned her immense public sympathy and support. But that silence spoke volumes. Within hours, users across TikTok and Reddit began commenting on old photos of Meghan, calling her a queen and flooding her timeline with messages of support. The message was clear. People saw her as the true victim. What made it even worse? Andy and Meghan have 2 children, now caught in the crossfire of their father's very public indiscretion. As one person put it, "I think cheating is an abomination, okay? And this man has a wife. He has children. These kids are going to have to watch and see this." This was more than just an affair. It was a public execution of a relationship and a reputation. Andy and Kristin didn't just cheat. They detonated a family, a burgeoning tech empire, and a whole lot of trust, all in front of the entire internet. Meanwhile, Andrew Cabot, along with Andy Byron, are the only true adults left in this disaster. They did nothing wrong. They built the homes, supported their partners' careers, and got publicly humiliated in 4K. The composure and relative silence of Andrew and Meghan amidst such chaos speaks volumes about their dignity. How did they stay so classy while their partners turned a date night into a scandal soundtrack? Let that be a lesson, my friends. You can delete LinkedIn, but you can't delete the internet. Public figures who engage in public misconduct, especially of this magnitude, risk not just exposure, but viral infamy that can irrevocably damage their reputation, their family, and their career for life.
I do feel bad for the wife
of this individual, and if the HR director's married, I feel bad for the hubby. Because to find this out via such a public venue has to be really heartbreaking. Forget about being embarrassed. Being heartbroken is 100 times worse. And if children are involved in these relationships, what can you say? All right, my heart goes out.
So, my friends, the saga continues. The legal proceedings for Andrew and Kristin's divorce will undoubtedly bring more details to light. But the emotional damage is already done. This story serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of infidelity, amplified by the unforgiving lens of social media and viral culture. It asks us to consider what truly constitutes betrayal in the modern age, and what are the inescapable costs when private indiscretions become public spectacles? Cheating isn't just messy, it's destructive. It doesn't only hurt the people involved, it wrecks trust, families, and reputations. It creates a ripple effect that no apology can fully undo. And when it's done by people in power, the damage multiplies. One decision made in secret can become a very public disaster. For Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot, a 16-second moment caught on a stadium camera exposed a much bigger betrayal. One that cost careers, shattered 2 homes, and dragged their loved ones into a media firestorm they never asked for. The truth is, cheating isn't just wrong because it breaks a promise. It's wrong because it destroys trust, the very foundation of every relationship, every family, every team. This isn't about cancel culture, it's about consequences. So, if there's anything to take away from this story, it's this: loyalty matters. Integrity matters. And the people who trust you, your spouse, your kids, your coworkers, deserve better than betrayal, disguised as a mistake. Because in the end, no secret is worth losing everything. Peace out, Seshers!